Hello, Army. No one was ready for what unfolded the moment he stepped back into the spotlight. And absolutely no one predicted Jungkook's reaction. What happened on that stage didn't just shock the crowd, it left thousands stunned into silence. People are still asking, was it planned? Was it instinct? Or was it something much deeper than anyone expected? Stay right where you are, because what you're about to hear may be the most unforgettable moment of the entire year. The arena had only just begun to dim when a wave of anticipation swept through the crowd. It wasn't the usual excitement. It was heavier, like the entire audience was holding its breath together. Fans had been waiting for months, counting down the days, and now, with the lights fading and the spotlight slicing through the darkness, the moment finally arrived. The silhouette that emerged sent the arena into chaos. He didn't just walk forward, he returned. And the roar that followed felt like the entire stadium had erupted. It felt less like a performance and more like a reunion, one that the fandom needed more than they realized. But while the cheers were echoing through the venue, something quieter, yet far more intense, was happening just off to the side of the stage. Jungkook froze. The moment he saw him step into the light, everything about his expression shifted. He didn't make any dramatic move, but the shock in his eyes was impossible to hide, so impossible that the cameras immediately lingered on him. It was raw, unfiltered, the kind of reaction someone has when something hits straight to the heart. For a second, he didn't move at all. It was like he needed time to process that this was real, that he was actually back. Then suddenly, Jungkook started moving. One step. Then another. Then faster. Not walking, beelining. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't part of any planned formation. This was pure impulse, the kind that slips out when emotion takes over before logic can catch up. While the crowd focused on the returning member's soft smile and gentle wave, the staff backstage caught on. The members noticed. And every fan who replayed the clip later noticed too. Jungkook wasn't just approaching. He was moving like he needed to get to him. When they finally stood close, Jungkook didn't speak, and he didn't need to. The moment their eyes met, everything around them seemed to blur, the lights, the noise, the cheers, all fading into a quiet they only felt between each other. There was relief there. Shock. Gratitude. A familiar warmth that slipped through like a breath of fresh air. And then Jungkook did the thing no one expected. He pulled him into a hug. A real one. Tight, grounding, emotional. Not staged. Not casual. The type of embrace that says more than words ever could. The stadium changed instantly. Screams shot through the air as the speakers trembled under the wave of reaction. Even the other members glanced at each other, caught between surprise and knowing smiles. But Jungkook wasn't thinking about cameras or choreography. In that moment, he was simply happy. Happy that he was back. Happy that he was next to him again. When they separated, Jungkook kept his hand on his shoulder for just a second longer. Just long enough to make the moment real. And with the stage lights shifting again, the energy across the entire arena transformed. What had been just another performance was now something emotional, something people felt in their chest. Even as the music kicked in and the routine began, Jungkook couldn't stop glancing over. Not in a way that disrupted the performance, but in a way that revealed something he probably didn't even realize he was doing. Every time the other member laughed, or hit a move with his usual confidence, Jungkook reacted. Subtle, but visible. There was one specific moment during the chorus, just a passing point in the choreography, when their shoulders brushed. And Jungkook's hand lifted, hesitating for just a heartbeat as if debating whether to touch his arm. He didn't, but the intention lingered. And he noticed. Of course he did. He always did. He responded with a tiny smile, barely visible to most of the crowd, but unmistakable to Jungkook. And Jungkook's lips curled before he forced himself back into performance mode. Too late, the cameras had caught the moment. When the song ended, the members spread out to greet the audience. And when he stepped forward to speak, the roar that answered him nearly shook the arena apart. He pressed a hand to his chest, overwhelmed, emotional, grateful. Jungkook stood behind him watching softly, unable to hide how deeply the moment was affecting him. When the speech ended, Jungkook stepped forward automatically, gently squeezing his arm, a quiet reassurance meant only for him. Their eyes met again, and whatever passed between them was subtle but unmistakably sincere. The night continued with brighter songs, more energy, more laughter. But beneath the fireworks and choreo, something remained, gentle touches during formation changes, shared grins, and even a moment when Jungkook passed him a water bottle with a soft brush of fingers. Fans caught everything. They clipped it. They posted it. They exploded the timeline with theories and reactions. But on stage, none of that mattered. What mattered was the genuine reconnection happening in real time. As the night moved into its softer phase, the lights shifted into warm, glowing tones. He walked toward the center for his solo, and Jungkook, still incompletely, watched from the side of the stage with an expression that said more than any fan-made edit ever could. That voice. That presence. That emotion. Jungkook drifted closer without meaning to, drawn in by every note. And when their eyes met briefly mid-song, it felt like the entire world paused. Fans didn't notice at the time, but those who replayed the footage later found themselves analyzing that moment repeatedly. After the solo, Jungkook was the first to reach him, helping him up from a bow with a gentle hand. And when he thanked the crowd, his voice trembling with sincerity, Jungkook stepped closer again, unable to hide the affection in his expression. Later, when the members took turns speaking, the shift became even more obvious. Jungkook hesitated before talking, glancing toward him for reassurance. And when he finally spoke, his words were simple. "Tonight feels special." It was short, but loaded with everything he wasn't saying out loud. And the smile he received in return was all the confirmation he needed. The final song burst through the speakers, and their energy lifted again. Playful nudges, bright smiles, familiar in a way that made fans emotional. And in the final group bow, when their hands met, Jungkook intertwined their fingers. Natural. Easy. Genuine. And he squeezed back. The crowd screamed louder than ever. Cameras captured it. And in that single gesture, a connection resurfaced, warm, unspoken, undeniable. Backstage, chaos filled the halls, but when they stepped behind the curtain, everything seemed to slow down. He took a deep breath. Jungkook approached softly, asking if he was okay. The answer came slowly, gently. It felt different tonight, in a good way. And Jungkook's entire body relaxed. As the members teased and laughed, something quiet stayed between them. A thread that had been rewoven on stage, strengthened backstage, and unmistakable to anyone who saw it. When the night ended and they walked toward the dressing room, the moment they exchanged, soft, warm, grateful, said everything. "I really was happy tonight."